What's up everyone, Alex here, and this video marks the 4th anniversary of when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. It's hard to believe that it's been 4 years since I started playing the game, and after 2 major expansions, it's even harder for me to fathom playing an MMO for this long. I've mentioned countless times on our podcast that MMOs were just a genre that took too much time out from being able to play modern games. But Final Fantasy XIV managed to buck that trend, and, depending on the type of player you want to be, you can still enjoy Final Fantasy XIV whether you're a casual, hardcore, or mid-core player. I consider myself more of a casual to mid-core player, and if you're just like me and want a reason to try out the game, I want to share with you 7 things that I love about Final Fantasy XIV in the 4 years I've been playing it. Number 1. You are the hero. This was actually the biggest selling point for me. Most MMOs relegate you to being part of some form of army that's supposed to raid bases, forts, and whatnot in the service of a hero or heroine, none of which is you. In Final Fantasy XIV, you are the hero, and there's even a story that leads you through the goings-on in the world that begins as soon as you make your character. This makes sense, as the series has always been known for great character development and an epic story, and your journey through the game will be filled with exciting and memorable moments. Number 2. Raiding can be fun. The verb raid is thought of as an expletive when it comes to new players of the genre. This is most likely due to the fact that they've seen friends spend hours playing MMOs, and they'd often cite raiding as a chief reason why they can't hang out. In Final Fantasy XIV, casual raids can take about 10 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on the size and competency of the group. And while there is certainly harder content in the game, much of it is usually one boss that you gotta defeat. But don't be fooled, these fights aren't slouches by any stretch of the imagination, and will take some time to master. Number 3. All the classes and jobs you'd want to play in one character. With new jobs being introduced with every expansion, Final Fantasy XIV allows your character to be any of them. Just equip the weapon of your choice and voila! Each class and job has their own unique storyline, which is extended every time a new expansion arrives. Also, the development team is keen on making sure that abilities and actions are always evaluated in every expansion, so your job and class will always feel fresh, rewarding, and super fun to play. Number 4. The game is fully playable on a controller, but you'll need a keyboard to chat. I've exclusively played Final Fantasy XIV on a controller since I started back in 2014. Whether it's dealing damage, healing players, or tanking, you'd be surprised how much you can accomplish with the tools the developers have provided. That said, you will need a keyboard to chat with other players, and this is super important, whether you're trying to join a guild or want tips and need help during dungeon runs. Number 5. True cross-platform play across PC, PS4, and Mac. If you're worried that if you played Final Fantasy XIV on the PS4 that you won't be able to play with friends on other platforms and vice versa, worry no more. All the players in Final Fantasy XIV play on the same servers as all the other platforms. And the best part of it all is that you probably won't be able to tell who's playing on what platform. All you need to care about is the story, the time you spend with friends, and the challenges you want to face for the day. Number 6. You can play other games. This might seem like a strange endorsement for Final Fantasy XIV, but there hasn't been a lot of MMOs out there where you can easily step away and come back to it and still care about the game's stories. Most of the activities in the game take at least 20 minutes to complete, and many players often resubscribe to the game whenever there's a new update out. The developers respect the time that their community spends in the game, and they're keen to deliver experiences that, while shorter than most games in the genre, can be fulfilling and rewarding all the same. Number 7. One of the best online communities. Final Fantasy's communities have always been great. Being a former player of Final Fantasy XI, I was a little worried that the landscape would be different in Final Fantasy XIV. But when I logged into the game, I quickly discovered that the friendliness of the community in Final Fantasy XI is in full force in this game. And while there are sour grapes in any community, they're a drop in the bucket compared to the thousands of awesome people you'll meet every day. There's even a biennial fanfest that happens in America, Europe, and Japan, where fans gather and check out the latest expansion. I hope by now that I've convinced you to at least give Final Fantasy XIV a shot. There's a trial you can download on PC, PS4, and Mac that allows you to play up until level 35 for free. During this time, you can pick up a lot of the classes and jobs available in the base game, as long as you're below level 35, and take a peek at what the game has to offer. If you've got any other questions about the game, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Also, I'll be covering Final Fantasy XIV with the approach of helping new players get acclimated to the game's various systems and goings-on. So hit that subscribe button, whether you're a new player, a returner, or even someone who might just need a reminder of what else the game's got to offer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in Eorzea.